Hello and welcome to this video on answering case study questions in the Strategies for Professional Growth course examination. In this video, I'll share some insights on how to approach case study and effective ways for tackling the questions in both the quiz as well as the end-term exam. We will also explore the key factors that are being considered by the course team and the faculties during the evaluation process. As you all may know that the IIT Madras BS program is unique, catering to a diverse group of learners with varying background and experiences. We have students pursuing this degree alongside their offline campus courses and also working professionals. So there is diversity in the learner group. Similarly, the SPG course is also unique in itself. It goes beyond the basic concepts of the general soft skills and covering advanced topics such as emotional intelligence, cross cultural understanding, and even the 20th century concepts like system thinking. The SPG course within the BS program is therefore intentionally designed to match the rigor of, say, a first year postgraduate level course or a short term certification course at a management school. Despite being a degree level course in the undergraduate BS program, the quiz and the end-term exam difficulty will align with this higher standard. Now let's get into what a case study is. A case study is a scenario in a particular professional context. Which students are expected to analyze and respond to, guided by specific questions posed in the concerning situation. In many cases, the scenario or case involves a number of issues or problems that must be dealt within a professional context. Case study assessment usually requires students to identify these problems in a given scenario to demonstrate their developing knowledge of theories and professional policies and to make decisions or recommendations based on these either to prevent or solve some of these issue in that scenario. So how do you tackle these challenging case study questions? Let's break it down into simple steps. So the first step when a case study is given, to read it carefully. It would be tempting for a person in the examination hall to skim through the paragraph given there and directly move on to the questions given and immediately you start typing or writing it. Please do not do that. First, read the question case study carefully. It will be a paragraph or two. You will have enough time to read it even twice. While reading, I'm sure you will be given some rough sheets. So make note of the key points. The key points in the case study. Highlight issues that you see in that given case study. And then move on to the questions. So as the first step, you have to identify what is given and what is being asked of you. case study will have a title. The title may be the topic itself, say communication at XYZ company, or it can be related to the emotional intelligence aspect, uh, or any other such sort. And then you will have the body of a case. While reading this, you are expected to make note of the key points, which not only will be related to the heading already given, therefore, you are required to identify any other aspects that are discussed in the case study. It can be of leadership, it can be related to team building, it can even be related to creativity or even systems thinking. So make note of the key points and then move on to the question part. So make note of these key points, then identify the issues. So to identify the issues, you must be using your knowledge of the subject derived from the course content or any additional reading resources that has been provided to you, or even through the project that you had done as part of this course. Then you move on to the question part. So each case study will have uh, the paragraph and then question will be given. When you move to the next question, again the same paragraph will be displayed. Then the second question will be displayed. So you need not switch back and forth between the questions and the case study. I hope this is how the question paper team had configured it for you on the TCS or any other examination portal. So when you read the question, it will require you to do something, whether to identify something related to the particular scenario or explain or discuss any theories or concept. So it will require you to identify what is occurring there or explain, discuss, or critical analysis. So each of this term has a different connotation. Depending upon the given term, you would be answering the questions there. Of course, word limit would be specified for each question. So please make note of it before proceeding to the next step. Once you read the case study and the questions, move on to the next step, which is analysis of the case study. So how does one analyze a case study? You have to ask yourself these questions. What actions were taken by the characters given in the case study, or what transpired or what happened in the given scenario? Then you identify whether they are appropriate in the given context, and if such actions are taken, what would be the consequences? For example, if something related to teamwork is given, you have to identify the collaboration dynamics, the conflicts that is occurring there, and any of the tendencies of teamwork that is being described in this course, you can use it to analyze the situation. Then you have to see if there are any codes, existing code or theories or policies applicable in the scenario. So from where do you get to find all this? It's from the course content itself. So each week has some basic theories plus example. You can use the course content to source your answer from, or any additional resources that are given as part of this course, say the articles or the required reading content, or any YouTube videos where any TED talk or a management guru talks about a particular concept. If it is given, you can base your answers on these also. Or if you had gained some theoretical knowledge from through the project, you can apply it here, provided you name the person who had given this theory and correct situation. So it's always sufficient to base your answer on the course content itself, and to certain extent from the required reading that is part of the course content. So how do you identify what actions were taken? Say if it's from the conflict management, you apply the Thomas Tillman instrument model to identify if the action taken was competing in nature, or is it avoiding, if it is related to cross culture understanding. You identify the stages that a person goes through when they have a culture shock, the four stages. And if it's related to communication and listening, you have to identify if the given character has asked the clarifying questions, or is the character summarizing what the other speaker is saying, or other manager is telling him or her. Like that, you identify the context. So how do you know if the given scenario is appropriate? Here comes your judgment, which is supported by the course content itself, or theories, or frameworks. I'm sure you must have come across the 4R framework, 6R framework in emotional intelligence part, in or the 10 C's of communication, 10 C's of teamwork. You can use this framework to determine uh, what action that was taken is appropriate, and to determine its consequence. So how will you identify what was omitted, or what could have been done better, is through the same content. You have to identify what was omitted, or what could have been better. So if the question asks, give your recommendation, give your suggestions to a senior manager or your team member, you have to base your answer on these types of framework, and then you can list it as your answer. So this is it regarding the analysis of case study. And one more point I would like to highlight here. it would be tempting for you to resource your content from the given case study. We have seen students repeating or typing what is already given in this case study. Repeating what's given in case study will not fetch you marks. It will either attract a penalty, not negative marking. Uh, it will impact your score. Therefore, do not type what is already in the case study. Only your analysis part is expected to be there. Kindly remember, it's not an English comprehension where you source your answer from the case study itself. It follows the higher order assessment, like I've told you in the first live session, based on Bloom's taxonomy. You are required to analyze and apply. Uh, the higher order is to create something. Here, it's the case studies majorly focusing on your ability to analyze and apply the theory and practices. Linking theory to practices. Therefore, do not type what is already given in the case study. Uh, do read the case study once or twice. Read the questions and see if any theories can be linked to the practices in the given situation. And then synthesize your answer. Uh, this is the step 2. Now we move to the third step, which is where you type your answer. The candidate console will look something like this. Uh, it will have a text box here. Case will be given. Question will be displayed here with the word limit. You will have the question pane here. So here is where you type your answer. It will look something like this, and I'm sure that there will be something to tell you that word character is max limit is this, and the number of characters you type will be appearing here. So the formatting options like bold, underline, italics will not be present. But if you want to emphasize keywords, just type in capital letters, type like this. Say if you are answering something related to 6R framework, you can type recognize in caps and the definition in small letters and its application in small letters. When you are moving to the next R, you again type it in uppercase. Again in small letters. While it is usually recommended to type your case study in paragraph mode, one or two points can be used to highlight some important sentence. Say you are giving a practical example that had occurred in your case, in your own life. There might be some questions asking you to give your own examples that had occurred in your school, college, internship, or workplace. There you can use numbering to highlight that example. So it's preferred that you use uppercase to highlight keywords and lowercase to write the rest of the answer part. And make sure that you stick to the word limit. Rows, I think 10 rows and 70 column is what this QP team have configured. So there would be enough space that you will be able to see the whole sentence that you are typing without any break. But if you are able to identify the question and the issues properly and you want to make your answer really script, it is okay even if you type it in lesser number of words. It can even be 150 or say 100 to 125, provided you are very clear with your answer and it is concise in nature. If your answer is concise, not more than 5 sentences are required. So keep your answer to the point. And before you answer, analyze the case study properly. So think 80% of your time and remaining 20% to type. So for analysis, contribute more time. So what's not an issue is that if there are any grammatical errors or spelling mistake, it will not attract any penalty. Why I'm saying this is because there has been complaint that there are keyboard issues. Some keys do not work, some keys are hard to press. This cannot be handled by the course team or the BS program team. It's up to the examination center to take care of this issue. So if there are if you face such issues leading to grammatical errors, spelling errors, it will not attract penalty. So do not worry about that. So manage your time accordingly. It's very crucial. It's up to you, the individual learners, to go for MCQs first, uh, then case study, or case study first, then MCQs. The question paper will have two parts. Question 1, 2, 3 will have case study based questions. Remaining paper, I think it's 20 to 25 questions will be of MCQ. This is for quiz 2. There might be some pattern change for the end term exam, where you might be given one question without case study, one question where you are expected to explain or discuss the particular concept that was covered in this course, providing suitable examples from your own context. So these are the two type of questions that are generally asked in the subjective component of this paper. So manage time accordingly. If you have 3 or 4 subjects in one sitting, it's up to the individual learner to plan accordingly. So that is it. I have covered the basics of answering a case study questions. Let me summarize it for you again. So read the case study carefully, identify the key points, highlight key issues, then read the question. If time permits, read the case study again and identify what is given and what is being asked of you. Then while analyzing the case study, see if it is related to one particular concept or is it covering multiple concepts that are being discussed in this course. Make a note of it in your rough sheet. That would come handy. Then read the questions carefully, stick to the word limit, and see what it is asking you to do. So like I said, think 80% of your time and then remaining 20% to type your answer. Source your answer based on the course content or the required reading materials, the HBR articles that were given to you, or the YouTube videos, which was made mandatory as part of the course content. You can base your answer on that, or the theories that you learned while doing the project, or if you had any read any textbook that would help you to answer these questions. Then compose your answer, stick to the word limit, watch your time, and you can use uppercase to highlight the important keywords. And do not assume anything that is not given in this case study. For example, in the previous term, there was one case study related to two individuals in a office scenario, and it was related to communication. One more question was on emotional intelligence. Only few people were able to identify that it was the aspects of EI constructs. The five EI constructs could be brought in to improve better communication. So you can link 2 or more weeks of content while answering one case study question. And there was one last question asking for a general response from the learners. So the question went like this: if person A dislikes female employees, what would you suggest to that particular person? So many learners were writing related to uh, issues like gender discrimination, even mentioning the community creed that they belong to, and so on. Remember, it is not a social science subject. You are expected to answer it from the management perspective. Uh, Only working professionals were able to answer this question and get full marks for this. It's not that we reduced the entire mark. Decent amount of marks were given for this type of answer. But if answered from this perspective, the answer to this questions was if diversity, equity, and inclusion training was given, maybe the manager would be able to make better sense of how to deal with female employees was the answer. So we expected something like this. Just go and check what is DEI. Now it is called as DEII. Find what this extra I is. So answer it from management perspective in from professional context only. That will fetch you more marks. That is it. Remember to give a concise and well thought answer to these case study questions. Each case study is unique in itself, so please read it twice before answering the question. And I hope this approach serves as a template for answering the questions in the examination. Thank you and happy learning.